Are you ready?
Similarly to before, check the description to see part 1 if you haven't seen it yet. However, if you have, be sure to click in the description for part 2. Both will be end cards at the end of this video as well, in case you wish to rewatch it all. And if possible, I'll have Sean look into putting them all together for one full video. I doubt it'll get as much views though. Enjoy your stay.
We end up going back to get Ivy to bring her to GCPD since it's getting really Did I say GCPD is safe? I meant nowhere is safe. What the fuck? Yeah, Scarecrow actually wins. However, Ivy isn't giving up, and neither is Batman. As Ivy works on keeping the giant plane alive, Batman goes to get a new power cell for the Batmobile, as the old one was fried in the explosion. Of course, Simon was very generous to give one, and yes, he gets jailed for all of this. If only it were that easy to jail a criminal involved in politics. Of course, we end up having to get another giant plant going, and when we do, we are forced to face arguably the worst part of this game, which also conveniently involves the Batmobile. 7 Cobra tanks and the Cloudburst, which cannot be taken out until the other Cobra tanks are taken care of. Yeah, I'm not doing this. Fuck this shit.
You sure? There's some pretty juicy stuff in here.
Yeah, I'm fucking sure. Go ahead, knock yourself out. This is a fucking terrible boss battle. You can't tell me otherwise. I mean, have you even seen some of the glitches I encountered here, throughout the game?
You scared?
Checkpoint down.
And you know how many hits it can take to kill me in the fucking Cloudburst battle?
Target destroyed!
That was 3 hits! That was just 3 fucking hits! Full health, upgraded fully, easy mode! Easy mode! Hell, the fucking Cloudburst probably doesn't even hit us onto the fucking Cobra tanks! In fact, the checkpoint system is bugged as well. I managed to take care of all the Cobra tanks just to shoot the 4 parts of the Cloudburst, died, and then back to the fucking beginning! I usually hid in a fucking tunnel biding my time using the Cobra lure shot because it's a fucking stressful pile of fucking shit. And trust me, you might very well need to upgrade for the Cobra lure shot. In fact, 2 of the tanks in the Cloudburst got stuck in one spot for 6 fucking minutes! 6 fucking minutes! If I didn't opt to get the Cobra lure upgrade, I wouldn't have fucked and have to force to start all over again! This is arguably the worst experience in any game I've had yet! And it's only more apparent that the fucking Batmobile is awful and the
Jesus fucking Christ, man! Sean?
What?
I feel like this is a bad time to point it out, but I kinda kidnapped your Rowlet as added incentive to make sure you get through the torture.
I will find you. And I will fucking end you, Fester.
Yeah, I actually feel horrible now.
So after finally taking out the fucking Cloudburst, yes, it took me over a month due to being fed up with it and rage quitting. No, it wasn't even as satisfying as it should be. We get back to Ivy, who dies. Yep, they killed off Ivy. I mean, it works as her body disintegrates into spores to get rid of the fear toxin, but you don't know, I don't actually see enough fault in this to bitch. Rip Ivy, moving on. So it turns out Gordon is kidnapped and Batman has to rescue him. Eventually it leads to yet another fucking bad Batmobile battle, but it's not as bad as the other 3 mentioned. The checkpoints work for once, and as long as you know what you're doing, you too can lose your one-of-a-kind Batman. Wait, what? Oh, Lucius is gonna be really fucking upset with me. Well, at least we found a block scene? Holy shit, this must be important.
Jason.
Eh?
Jason.
Oh, well, I mean, that's totally fine. I guess there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I don't see any problem. What the fuck did we even expect? No, really. I'm actually genuinely serious. What the hell did we even expect with this? Yeah, people had theories and speculations about who the Arkham Knight was, blah, blah, blah. I even thought it was Joker recovering in the suit, or like, you know, somehow alive. I don't know why I thought that. And my friend Onyx. I ended up thinking it was Alfred because of Arkham Origins and how he, you know, all that. You know the whole story with that, I'm sure. But it was so obvious, while some of us were too oblivious to realize it. Meanwhile, the same oblivious people ended up complaining about it being too obvious. The problem with that is that it makes perfect sense. Think about it. He knew the secret weak points of the Batsuit, acted as if he knew Batman personally. Hell, he even managed to get Barbara Gordon, fucking Barbara Gordon, kidnapped from the fucking clock tower. It just wouldn't work as anyone else. Hell, it wouldn't even work if the Arkham Knight, being a new enemy, also had a secret identity that has never been in the Batman lore before, such as Quincy Sharp being the Warden of Arkham, especially because people would have complained anyway. So again, this makes sense as it pretty much took inspiration, direct and otherwise, from the comics, more so than before. Now, I'm not faulting them for choosing Jason Todd to be Arkham Knight. I've made my peace with that. In fact, I think I've always been at peace with that. However, I am faulting the fanbase for seeing them blatantly admit who the Arkham Knight was, and yet were too blind to connect the dots.
What are you talking about?
Exhibit A, Red Hood DLC. This DLC was, along with the Harley Quinn pack, advertised at GameStop and probably other places across the world as pre-order DLC. And who exactly is the most well-known character to portray Red Hood? Of course it's fucking Jason Todd, you fucking eyeless shrimp heads! They literally said it had been Jason Todd through the pre-order DLC, and we couldn't even fucking notice it like we notice our senpais! And the fact that there were fans that were like this and yet shat on the reveal for being too obvious is pretty much everything wrong about most fan bases and online communities. I need another moment. Give me a moment again. Okay. I think that's all the frustrating parts that I gladly got out of my system. By the way, I know this video's gone on long enough, but I gotta say, it's never actually explained how Todd survived. In fact, he calls Batman a liar for claiming he saw Todd get shot in the videotape, but Joker admits to stretching the truth. So, what did happen to Todd after all that? It's odd because the comics do explain how Todd came back to life. While convoluted and genuinely confusing as fuck, they did eventually simplify it in the New 52 reboot, as well as in the animated adaptation Under the Red Hood. It's basically said that Todd was revived through the Lazarus Pits by Ra's al Ghul, and that it affected him mentally to the point where he'd never be the same. Granted, Joker torturing Todd for months would put him in a similar mindset, but if Joker didn't just kill him off, then what the hell did Joker do to Todd when he was through with him? How did Todd escape? Why did Joker just let him go? Did Joker merely let him go? There's zero explanation for any of this when there clearly should be some sort of explanation.
Need another moment?
No, I'm good, but thank you. So we end up finding Todd as he's fully decked out in the Red Hood gear, further mocking the oblivious. Upon beating him in an actually engaging and challenging fight, and in a good way, Batman offers to help right the wrongs that he put on Todd. After all, he has stated that Jason's death was arguably his greatest failure. Of course, Jason escapes, leaving behind the visor as well as the legacy of the Arkham Knight.
What legacy?
Hush. Of course, upon getting to the roof, it turns out that Jim lured us here because it turns out Barbara was alive the whole time. What a shock. What is shocking, however, is that Jim thought bringing in Batman and even shooting him would result in Barbara being free. Nope, not even close. Well, it looks like she is actually going to die, or she gets saved, I guess. Oh, and it turns out that the Batmobile isn't one of a kind like Lucius once said. He has another one.
Fuck you, linesuckers.
We bring Barbara back to GCPD, but still have to take care of what's left of the militia, resulting in an all-out tank battle with Oracle by our side. And, not gonna lie, it is engaging and a hell of a lot of fun. We also gotta take him out through combat, and while a bit annoying because two of them have interchangeable weapons, and it's the only time enemies like that appear actually, it's still fucking awesome and yet also feel like it never ends. It's kind of a confusing thing. However, Scarecrow announces that he has kidnapped Robin as well, and Batman is forced to give himself up, as he plans to unmask Batman in an attempt to destroy his legend. However, the truck decides to make a pit stop. Or a pit crash, that works too. Oh hey, Crime Alley.
Such a happy couple. Shame about the kid, though.
Okay, Joker, I've had it with your shit, so I'm gonna break your neck now. Yeah, I don't get how Joker feels he won in that bit. I mean, he wasn't actually killed, again, and Batman didn't actually do that to someone. Hell, Batman pulled the trigger on a fake gun earlier and didn't even bother to so much as spend 3 seconds mocking him for it. So, here it is. Back where it all began. Unless we're speaking chronologically with origins at the start.
It's okay. It's not okay. You know what this means.
No, I don't think I do. What the hell does that even mean? And so, Batman is unmasked to the world. Scarecrow then injects more toxin into Bruce, which results in a vision of sorts where Joker has fully escaped and pretty much killed everyone while setting the city aflame. Yeah, none of this feels good to do. By the way, I checked. The only one you can avoid shooting to kill is Penguin. I've even actively tried to avoid shooting Riddler and Two-Face in another playthrough. Oh no. Joker's taking fully over now.
Guess I'm toxin-proof. Hey, Bats! You still here? Bats? Is that you? Oh, Bats! Good times.
Yeah, this basically turns into a horror FPS game because why the fuck not at this point? I do find it odd that you can't shoot Harley here because Joker literally threw her off a building once, so I don't think shooting her is out of the question from the abusive Prince of Crime. Riddler and Harley expecting first child? It could happen. Stranger things have happened and it could happen. So Batman's basically trying to spook bust and exploiting the fear that the Joker has and that he fears being forgotten. Fucking Christ! Why does this shit keep getting to me? I've played this like 4 times! And so this leads to the final confrontation between Joker and Batman, as Batman finally locks him away within the inner reaches of his mind. Joker is finally gone, and he won't be a danger to anyone again. Oh, right, we still have Scarecrow. Jason! Thanks, buddy. Scarecrow is then injected with his own toxin and...
No.
And here we have Steve Bannon after he found out he was being removed from his position at the White House. Or was it Breitbart? Could work for both. So Scarecrow is finally brought into justice, and Batman then asks Alfred to prepare for Operation Nightfall. And that's actually the end of the main story. The true ending doesn't come until you take care of all the side missions, probably including the Season of Infamy stuff, but I'm not 100% sure. But the aforementioned Riddler race is just fucking awful. And I don't want to go through that again.
Oh, don't worry, you've been through enough, and I hope you learned your lesson.
Wait, what? What lesson?
That you have to accept the fact that you're going to get requests that you don't want to do, but will eventually have to because it's for the fans. You see, you had a history of not taking requests for reviews, and even turning multiple ones down after you specifically asked for requests. You need to learn that you gotta do the things you don't want to do, and, well, that's life.
Oh my god. You're right. I'm a fucking dick, aren't I?
Not exactly, but you definitely fucked up in that department.
Don't sugarcoat it.
Right.
Anyway, can I have my wallet back now, please?
Oh, sure. It's next to you now.
Yay! Oh.
Now, I do feel you should mention the final ending at least.
Credit for the ending clip to Rabbit Retrospect Games.
Yeah, I'll take it.
So once everything is all taken care of and all the villains are behind bars, Batman leaves the mask behind as he heads off to Wayne Manor. And no, I don't know how the spotlight broke like that. As the cops take back the city, Operation Nightfall is enacted, and what is it exactly? The destruction of Wayne Manor in an effort to trick people into believing that Bruce Wayne, the Batman, is dead. Fast forwards to some long while later, Jim has become mayor of Gotham and is off to attend the wedding of Barbara Gordon and Tim Drake. Tim Drake being Robin, of course, because I never mentioned that at all in this video, with the city pretty much at peace. Though it seems history is set to repeat itself, but with a slight twist.
Batman's dead! That look don't scare us no more! What the hell?
And no, we're not getting another game or even more DLC to explain whatever the fuck that was.
So after all that, is it going on the sheet?
You know? Only part of it, maybe.
Wait, what?
The one thing to remember about the Arkham series is that the biggest selling point has always been the combat, and it's still a fucking amazing system in Arkham Knight. It did what City did with Asylum, taking the combat from City, and kind of Origins, and expanding on it to the point of even combining certain takedowns with other forms of attacks. The overworld is massive, and when you manage to, gliding / flying around the 3 islands is a fucking amazing feeling, and I kinda wish they took out the Batmobile so we could get to do it more. The story is okay at best, though, again, the big reveal makes sense. It controls well, but driving the Batmobile ends up feeling like a chore, and that key part of Batman is the biggest chore of the entire game. It just is annoying to go from being the Batman to being the Bat Tank, and the fact that the worst parts of the game require the Batmobile doesn't help much either. In all honesty, I don't know if I can really put this on the sheet, but that doesn't mean I 100% recommend it. If you're gonna play it, go into it prepared for some stressful moments, but other than that, Arkham Knight can be fun to play because of the combat. And that, again, is the main selling point of the series, being the Batman and beating up the bad guys. Regardless of how it ended, the Arkhamverse is arguably one of the greatest video game series of all time, and it's arguably one of my all-time favorite series as well. I absolutely loved this series to death and was very sad when I heard it was ending. Namely because after so long, we never thought we'd finally get a good, nay, amazing Batman game, let alone 4 to 5. The return of key voice actors helped a lot, and all in all, the Arkhamverse has solidified itself as a series of games that should never be missed out on. He is vengeance. He is the Knight. He is Batman. And you know, I think this is the first time I've actually ended up putting part of the game, not the full game, on the sheet. So, it's going to be a confusing one to do, but let's try it. You know what happens when you have the worst parts of your game involve you? You know what happens when you end up poorly controlling some aspects? You know what happens when you cause more frustration than any other part of the game? You know what happens? You know what happens? Do ya? Batmobile of Arkham Knight? You just made the sheet! Boom! Not the full game, but part of it at least. Oh, before we end this though, I have a question, Fester.
Name your price.
When you started interfering with my videos, messing with my surroundings,
Don't question that, please.
I don't think I want to. The sheet was missing Sonic CD for some reason. That was you, right? If so, why did you remove it?
Because you let your anger towards the constant dying and the lack of your own experience influence your thoughts on the game. Think about it. When you wrote the script, it was immediately after beating the game, while you were still pissy over metallic madness, among other levels in the game you had troubles with. The game didn't so much suck, in fact it doesn't suck, it was just your lack of experience playing that specific entry in the Sonic franchise, among other entries. Everyone gets better at something with practice, and practice makes perfect, and that's really all you need with this game. As well as a few others you've played but likely dropped due to not being good enough at the game, or so you claim that you're not really good enough. Practice. With practice you can do anything you set your mind to. Except fly. No human can do that without mechanical assistance.
Damn. Well, I guess thanks for being here, Fester. I'm sure I can find some sort of way to include you in videos in the future, perhaps.
Oh, that was never an issue. I lied.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm actually pretty financially stable. I break rocks with my head for a living.
How are you not dead?
Oh, I didn't mean it literally. I'm an advisor for a construction business.
And the way you're dressed right now?
They're my street clothes.
Thank you guys so much for sticking around for these 50 episodes. Here's to many more in the future. Stay awesome.
Oh, wait, hang on. Turns out I forgot to mention something in this video. And something else has come up involving Rocksteady. For starters, this clip. I took this clip from an older post on my Facebook to show a glitch that happens if you don't complete enough of the side missions before the big cloudburst fight, where the last Cobra tank will spot you, no matter where you are, and chase you down to no end even if you're out of their sight or behind a building, for example. I mean, just look at the radar. It's just fucking awful that they never fixed this. Or at least I don't think they fixed it. Anyway, the second thing that I only just recently discovered is apparently Rocksteady is teasing a new game that they claim will, quote, blow everyone's minds. And I have heard that they want to, or that people want them to, make a Superman game and save his video game case, so fingers crossed for that, maybe? Alright, now we can play the outro.
At long last, lo and behold, we are finally done with the 50th episode.
Thank you guys so much for sticking around through all of this. You can click the cards for parts 1 and 2 whenever they show up in case for whatever reason you decided to watch this part first. And you can check out all my social medias in the description below. If you enjoyed it, click the like button and share this video around as it truly does help me out, and you can subscribe for more if you really want to. Also, if you want, you can check out my Patreon, if you really want to help this channel out, that is. Only thing is, I need someone to explain how to do tiers, and I don't know how to do it. I've only got like $1 tiers. Or rather, tier. Singular. Nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching, and please remember to stay awesome. Bye-bye!